This is my UI. And whoa! For the past year, I've been making a bullet hell metroidvania about a fly with guns. And after playing heaps of other metroidvania games, I came to a pretty crazy realization. I don't really like the UI of other games. And if you don't know what UI is, it's basically just the on-screen elements that helps you interact with your game and understand what's going on. Even in some of my favorites like Blasphemous, Hollow Knight, and Ori, it just feels kind of bland. So I decided to make my own style. I called up my designer and we started to plan what was going to be the coolest user interface in the history of any game ever. During our planning phase, we went over the most important aspects first. For instance, we wanted everything that shows while playing to be up in this little corner over here, so that's not too cluttered. And I'm not proud of it, but the health bar is just a bar for now. I swear we'll try and make it cooler later. But luckily, we had an awesome idea for the posture bar. Okay, no I didn't. That's just another bar. But that's actually the only boring stuff. How are we going to show ammo? Well, this was actually one of our biggest challenges during concepting. We live in Australia, so to be honest, I don't know a great deal about guns, unlike other countries. I threw around some ideas like a magazine, a clip, and then Porga said something amazing.
How about a bullet?
A bullet to show bullets. And for however many bullets a gun has, the fill of this one depletes. I don't know if I could have explained that in a more confusing way, but trust me, it will make sense later. Oh yeah, our game has a flask system as well, so when you drink this yellow juice, you get some health back. Of course, we need to display this somehow, and this time I actually contributed to our concepting session and suggested this. So, you know a revolver. I thought it would be sick if the cylinder that holds all of the bullets holds the yellow juice I mentioned was in the flasks. And so when you use a flask, the revolver cylinder spins and the yellow diminishes. Trust me, it's gonna look cool. And you know what else would look cool? You pressing that subscribe button. You don't have to, but I think you should. And that almost concluded the on-screen UI. The last thing we needed was a way to show what utility items you were currently holding and a way to have one selected during your gameplay. We thought some kind of utility belt would be sick, and when you scroll through the items, the belt kind of spins around. Alright, you probably are still kind of confused because I'm not the best at explaining, but luckily this was when me and Porga started actually designing the UI to put it into the game. We left the flask slot indicator in a pretty rough state, so I got this PNG of a revolver, traced the outline of the cylinder, and then added these little glowing yellow dots inside. Basically, when you heal yourself, the cylinder spins like this, and now you have one less flask slot. When you rest at a hammock, you can refill the cylinder again. And you may be wondering, why are there only 3 bullets in the cylinder as compared to a normal revolver cylinder which holds 6? Well, as you progress through the game, you can unlock more flask slots, and eventually it will look normal. But what if I told you this wasn't the only revolver in the UI? This is the pause menu. And I know it's a little bit dramatic, but come on, how cool is that? It basically works by allowing you to scroll through the cylinder of options. Something I added is the ability to choose sub options by pulling the cylinder down like this. And when you have your option selected, you can press space to shoot, and it will take you to a more in-depth menu. For instance, here's the settings, but it gets better. You may have noticed me being brutally shot at the start of this video. Well, this wasn't just for content. When you press quit, the gun turns to face you and shoots to close the application. I honestly didn't even plan for this animation to be used, so I gotta give the credit to Porga for giving me the idea. Alright, back to the in-game UI. I didn't fully get to explain myself with this bullet counter. Porga drew up this design for the bullet, which meant it was my job to figure out how the hell to get this working inside of the game. Luckily, I have over 6 years of coding knowledge, Unity skills, and of course I just went straight to ChatGPT. I couldn't figure this one out. So now when you shoot from your gun, the fill inside of the bullet depletes. The only flaw I see with this is that you can't exactly tell how many bullets are left, but I'm not sure if you really need to know. It's pretty obvious when you're almost out, but let me know in the comments if you think we should add some kind of number on screen to show how many bullets you have left. Lastly, there was the utility belt, which admittedly isn't that interesting, is what I would say if I was stupid. We weren't ready to actually add items onto it yet, which made me a bit sad, but they'll be ready soon. Now you may have noticed I haven't mentioned the inventory yet, and well, that's because I haven't really finished it. But essentially, it's going to look a bit like this. And you can scroll through these slots to select what gun you want to equip, as well as shields, consumables, and key items. At the top, there's a tab-like design, kind of like Google, where you can select other menus like the bestiary, talismans, and the map. Now, if you thought the UI here was cool, you're going to want to know why the main character of our game used to look completely different. So go check out this video here.